Hi, this week I've been contemplating some of the conditioning that I can recognize within myself that I wish to transform. And that in particular is the being stuck in a cycle of survival, lack, worry, striving. It was drummed into me as a child that you must work hard in order to survive. And as I'm growing and transforming and remembering who I really am, I'm really challenging those beliefs. Now, those beliefs are really embedded deeply into my energy field and into my body. So, this has not been an easy journey for me, but that's partly why I want to bring it to light by speaking and sharing about it with you. Yeah, I do not believe that anymore. So I truly believe that if I believe that I can have passive income that just flows to me and I can follow my bliss and do what I love, that it is totally possible for me to live a beautiful, creative, fulfilled, abundant life. So, how does that apply to you? How do you feel about relaxing into life and believing that everything will be okay and that you will be taken care of versus the Western conditioning of you must work hard, and it will be different for each of us. But I know that that was ingrained into me from watching my father work two jobs, watching the people around me work really hard and study hard so that they could raise themselves to a higher level than the previous generation. And I don't want to play that game anymore. We've talked before about rewriting our story, and this just is another chapter of it. But this one, for me in particular, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, feels really challenging, really deep. And so I might be talking about it quite a lot in the upcoming months because I just feel we're at such a unique point in history where astrologically and the creative conscious is really aligned with us to support us in letting go of these old limiting beliefs and conditionings and stepping into a whole new way of being. And that's what I'm here on the earth for at this point of time. So, as a creative, as an artisan, it's like I was contemplating it this morning. I thought, no, no, that doesn't affect me because, if you look at my textile pieces, I work in the high end of couture. So there's no lack or limitation there. But actually, there has to be because I don't believe at this point of time that if I'm incongruent in one area of my life, I believe it flows through to all areas. So then it's like, I hope this doesn't sound egotistical, but I've worked really hard. Listen to my language. I've worked really hard to get to be a master embroiderer. Like I'm really good at my job. I've got a high skill level because I've spent 20 odd years building that up. Oh, I'm cracking myself up inside now. So there it is. I've reached a high skill level and I've reached it through or with this cycle of, suffering and survival playing out daily. So just imagine as an artisan and as a creative, what you might be able to expand into with your creative, authentic expression once we're not playing in that energy anymore. Now that excites me. And maybe for me, that's going to be the motivation to not stay playing in this small game of, round and round and round suffering survival. Because the suffering hasn't yet been enough to motivate me get completely out of it. You would think it would be enough, but it's not. So maybe for me as an artisan and as a highly creative person, maybe for you, that could be the motivation. So how are we going to do that? Seriously, I don't have the answer, but this is what I'm going to do. I am going to step deeper into receptivity. And I'm going to do that in little ways to start with. So when somebody says, "Oh, Crystal, I love what you're wearing today," instead of going, "Oh, this old thing," or, "Oh, yeah, I made this. Oh, yeah, this is one of mine. This is my label." It's like, no, I just go, "Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that." When someone offers to pay for coffee or lunch, instead of going, "No, no, no, I've got it," or, "No, no, no, not, Miss Independent here, always worrying about money." And I would have been sitting there all through the lunch thinking, "Okay, I've got enough money to pay for my meal. I wish she didn't order the lobster because I'm not sure I can pay for," like this story that goes around. Next time someone offers to pay, I'm just going to gratefully receive and say, "Yeah, thank you." And I've been doing a gratitude list with a friend every night for months and months and months now. We just text each other our gratitude list for the day. And even on really challenging days, I can always find a minimum of 3 things to be grateful for, whether that's sunshine, whether that's the abundance of clothes I've got to choose from to wear, or whether that's heating because it's cold here, it's winter, or the kindness of a neighbor. There's always things that I can be more in that energy of gratitude about and more in that energy of receptivity about. So I'm going to leave you with that thought today. How does that work for you? How could that apply to you? And what are your thoughts as a creative around that cycle of the starving artist, or you can't make money with your art, or that's just get a real job, or all of that conditioning bullshit that's really not accurate. I was listening to Bashar and Daryl Anker this morning, and he just kept saying it like, the universe doesn't care, it's neutral. So if you put out a vibration of fear and say, survival and struggle around money, it's going to reflect it back. And if you put out a vibration of like, "Yeah, I don't have to work, money will just come to me and I can just live my life having a fabulous time and engaging in the things that light me up," then that's what the universe is going to reflect back to you. And I can tell you that I've spent the most of my life doing option one, and I don't want to spend the rest of it doing option one. I want to very much move into option number 2. So I hope that's helpful to you. I hope that inspires you. I hope that opens up a new area of contemplation and possibility for you. So from my heart to yours, bless you, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.